Now at 6, the latest on a project in Joplin to provide more resources to people experiencing homelessness. Plus, people head to Missouri Southern to show off their strength at a competition, and how an area ranch provides emotional and physical healing on this I Love Horses Day.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A Delaware County, Oklahoma man pleads guilty to sexually assaulting 3 boys, crimes that began decades ago. This is KOAM News at 6. Jeffrey Cunningham pleaded guilty to 3 counts of aggravated sexual abuse of a minor under 12 in Indian country. Authorities say Cunningham admits to sexually abusing the children in the late 1990s, in 2003, and in 2011. The victims were 9, 10, and 12 years old at the time of the crimes. Authorities say an allegedly intoxicated pilot was arrested after making an emergency landing on Interstate 70 in the Kansas City area very early today. They say the pilot radioed in an emergency landing after running out of fuel. The plane did not hit any vehicles, and the only reported damage was to a guardrail. The pilot, who had minor injuries, was the only person on board. Police say he was arrested after he was found to be intoxicated. Authorities say it's fortunate the crash happened in the early morning hours when there were not a lot of cars on the interstate. The former Sunflower Army ammunition site in DeSoto, Kansas is where a new Panasonic plant is scheduled to be built. Residents there have mixed feelings about the idea. Reporter Betsy Webster has more.
Cheeseburger. At Perky's Cafe in the old downtown, we stumbled upon a mini reunion for the DeSoto High School class of 1965. We're talking people who once worked at the long since shuttered Sunflower Army ammunition plant, the site where the governor says Panasonic will build their plant.
I think it's fine that they're going to do something with it. And it'd be great if they create all those jobs.
I'm all for jobs and that, but it's just in the long run, what's going to happen.
Starting in World War II and for decades after, the 9,000-acre property was used to make cannon powder and rocket propellant. The U.S. Army and later a redevelopment company spent years cleaning up contaminants on the property that came from making ammunition, a cleanup process that's still underway.
They've supposedly cleaned some of it up, and I'm wondering if this isn't going to contaminate again.
Now, I guess it's clean enough that you can put another plant that's going to make it dirty again.
State officials expect the new plant to have about 4,000 workers. Let's check in with Nick Kelly for our first look at the weather.
We kept things pretty quiet overall, Dal, but certainly at least around the Joplin area this year for 7th and Rangeline might have had some clouds really thicken up at times, but we kept this view looking pretty dry throughout much of the day. For areas west of Joplin, certainly much of southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma, you have until about 8 o'clock this evening for your heat advisories to expire, but for some of you and new spots going into tomorrow, the heat advisories will go back into effect once again for Saturday, since it'll be another hot and humid day. But at least a few spots in our northern counties had some scattered showers earlier this morning before it completely fell apart before it hit 44. But with the frontal boundary nearby and upper level waves upstairs, we're not going to rule out rain chances, additional ones at least, going throughout the rest of our weekend. We'll time that out in a bit, but upper 90s to near 100. Feels a little bit hotter in spots because of the slight uptick in the humidity, but ultimately Dow will fall through the 90s, through the 80s, and back down to the upper 70s for tonight. We'll track the rain chances this weekend, and unfortunately almost dangerous heat for next week here in a bit.
See you then. The Homeless Coalition of Jasper and Newton County is hosting a Homeless Connect event. Now, that event at Central Christian Center is a sort of one-stop shop to provide information on health care, food resources, housing, employment, and more. Officials with the Economic Security Corporation say events like this are geared toward helping individuals who cannot afford basic life amenities.
What's beneficial is a lot of these individuals don't have access to communication as far as television and radio. So what we do is we go out to different organizations, let them know that this event is going to take place, and then it's just kind of a chain effect as far as getting the word out to them.
This event typically is held twice a year. This is Parks and Recreation Month. Since 1985, the country has celebrated the professionals who build communities through the parks and rec departments. In recognition, KOAM took a trip to see what Lincoln Park in Pittsburgh has to offer. That park has a variety of services and events, including a kids' summer camp, bingo, and this water park.
Everything by the city of Pittsburgh is so well kept. The kids just enjoy being able to go down there. We always know they're safe. We always know the pool's safe. They're kept clean. It's just such a wonderful place for families to get out and enjoy.
The theme for this year's Parks and Recreation Month is We Rise Up for Parks and Recreation. Some area athletes took to Missouri Southern to show off their strength. MSSU today hosted the First Form Monster Game. First Form is a well-known health and wellness brand in the fitness community. The CrossFit competition hosted hundreds of people and had events featuring tests of endurance, strength, and gymnastic movements. The competition brings in members of the CrossFit community from all across the country.
So to me, CrossFit is different because of the community. If it wasn't for the community, I probably wouldn't do it. Just like coming to this competition, I'm not from here, but when I come here, I see all familiar faces, so we're like one big family.
First Form Monster Games is also a qualifying event for Legends Master Competition. That's a global event that'll take place in December. Coming up, Quapaw Nation holds a fundraiser at their farmers market, plus how an area therapy horse ranch is celebrating National I Love Horses Day. Visitors stopping by the Quapaw Farmers Market today shopping for fresh produce also had a chance to help tribe members. The Quapaw Farmers Market offers such things as baked goods and fresh veggies. Also at the market was the Quapaw Nation Cancer Awareness Team. The team set up a booth to sell t-shirts and homemade goods. They're raising money for tribal members and families who are battling cancer. This is one of many fundraisers the team puts on throughout the year.
It helps them out with travel expenses. It gives them a relief, I do believe. I have one of them that is very close to me that we helped out last year, and it was a relief to them to be able to come to us and get help from us because they traveled to St. Jude.
The next fundraiser will be a golf scrambler on August 14th. Horse lovers rejoice. This is National I Love Horses Day. A lot of people will tell you horses can help heal us emotionally, but a stable in Baxter Springs, Kansas claims horses can provide physical therapy as well. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
Connecting with a horse is more than just that. It's therapy. Addison bonds with her horse named Spirit once a week.
He's soft and I get to pet him and he just calms my nerves.
Addison is celebrating National I Love Horses Day by spending time with her hooved friend.
Horses of Hope Day is my favorite day of every week. Spirit's my best friend.
Many people assume horse therapy only deals with mental health, but riding a horse is physical therapy as well.
So for anybody who might have some gait abnormalities or gait dysfunction, or even someone in a wheelchair, when they get to sit on a walking horse, it's putting their body through a normal range of motion, and it helps them strengthen, improve balance, and function overall.
Horses of Hope is a therapy ranch in Baxter Springs, Kansas, and they are celebrating National I Love Horses Day by hosting a week-long feed drive. Caring for horses costs money for things as basic as food.
I remember 25 years ago, a bag of equine senior probably cost in the $10, $12 range, and it is now $37 a bag. So in 25 years, it's jumped up a lot, and just in the last year or two, it has even jumped tremendously.
Horses of Hope has a hope of its own. With a little help from donors, people like Addison can find a friend, a little comfort, and maybe some fun along the trail. In Baxter Springs, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
To donate to Horses of Hope, click on the link to this story at KOAMnewsnow.com. A little bit later, we're going to go live to Joe Becker Stadium for the matchup between the Joplin Outlaws and Nevada Griffins.
Plus, while I'm thankful that I'm tracking some rain chances for the weekend, we got to watch out for dangerous heat next week. Forecast next. If you were keeping an eye on the radar this morning, it was almost looking promising that a band of showers and even a couple of thunderstorms would survive the journey from Kansas City. If we could pull up the Skywatch Storm Tracker, we are seeing that area of rain and some thunderstorms weakening, and we can see from a closer up view here, we have unfortunately saw those rain chances die out throughout the course of the afternoon and into this evening. But thankfully, we're not done with rain chances just yet. But the heat's going to stick around regardless of that. In fact, heat advisories for southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma until about 8 o'clock this evening. And then we've got more advisories that will go into effect for tomorrow because just like the past few days, it's going to stay hot and humid a little bit at the very least. Near 100 the other day, upper 70s unfortunately for a warm start this morning, and easily right back near 100 so far this afternoon. The look from Lender Chevrolet Cadillac of Joplin, overlooking 44, showing quiet skies up top. Same up the road at 7th and Range Line. Currently we're at 99, so at the very least we're a degree cooler than where we were an hour ago. Unfortunately, these numbers will continue to drop. Even though it'll be warm again for tonight, at least we get a break from the feels like temperatures, which right now is set at around 101. A lot of us upper 90s to near 100. Feels maybe a degree or two hotter just because of that slight bump in the humidity today. Thankfully, though, we'll drop back through the 90s, 80s, down into the upper 70s later on tonight. Let's look at the bigger picture now, because if you notice these northerly winds in extreme northern Kansas, that's the position of our cold front. It's not going to completely sweep through the area, but as long as it's around with some upper level waves riding around the building upper level ridge out west, we still have a chance to pick up on at least some rain chances before that upper ridge plays a big role in the forecast as we go into next week. Fortunately, we're looking mostly clear to start the evening out, but as we head through the overnight with that front edging closer and another wave coming in upstairs, a little bit in the way of cloud cover. I think it's overdone here, but at the very least, partly cloudy skies. But it'll only allow lows to drop back into the mid to upper 70s to start Saturday out. Then, with another wave coming on through, maybe some widely isolated thunderstorms, which hopefully some of you can get in on a few good downpours. Otherwise, it's going to be hot once again. 78 in the morning, 94 by noon. Highs are 99 with heat indices back over 100, with the rain chances also resulting in a little bump in the humidity once again. We'll calm down for late Saturday night, but with the front near the region and with a couple more waves upstairs, we'll watch for scattered storms, periods of it at least throughout the day. That'll only be enough to drop us back into the mid-90s for highs. As far as rain chances and rain amounts, a lot of us staying under a half an inch, but if you can get some heavier pockets of rain, hopefully you can get more than that, because once those rain chances clear out, look at how this upper ridge really wants to build in and just hold firm as we go through a good portion of next week. I have us at 99 on Saturday, 96s for Sunday and Monday. Tuesday is looking like the hottest day of next week, and that's almost dangerous temperatures. I don't see any signs of heat advisories or excessive heat warnings going out for Tuesday just yet, but numbers that high, I'm putting out an alert day for Tuesday already. And then backing down to about 102, 103, Wednesday through Friday now.
People certainly are going to have to be very aware of the heat. Watch out for their elderly neighbors. Stay hydrated if they must be outside, and stay inside if they can.
Yeah, livestock and pets, we got to keep an eye out for them as well.
All true. Thanks, Nick. Still ahead, the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtis, joins us to talk about the upcoming season, and the Joplin Outlaws aim to hang on to first place with just 1 week left in the regular season. We're going to go live to Joe Becker Stadium for a preview of tonight's game against Nevada after the break.
The Joplin Outlaws took over first place in the Mink League South Division last night, beating the Sedalia Bombers 6-5. Tonight, the Outlaws aim to stay in first, hosting the Nevada Griffins. And Danny Terzer is at Joe Becker and has more on tonight's game and the Outlaws' final week of the season.
Well, like you said, Jacob, the Outlaws are in a pretty good spot right now with 8 games remaining on their schedule, and I've got head coach Gonzalo Gonzalez with me. Coach, let's talk about last night's win first of all, a walk-off win to secure first place in the South Division. What does a win like that do for you guys heading into the final stretch of the season here?
It's a big confidence booster for our guys, and I think the biggest thing for it is, we were playing some pretty good baseball to keep it going against a good team in Sedalia. Boomer does a great job over there. He's a great baseball guy. So we able to take one from them, it was huge for us, especially since moving forward, that's the team we have to beat.
Yeah, I'm sure your confidence is high as well. Four-game winning streak right now. That's the longest this season so far. What's been clicking on the field?
I think these guys are just playing fun, having fun with it, and they're not pressuring themselves or each other to get the job done, and they're going deep into counts. Our pitchers are doing a better job of throwing strikes, less free bags, and I mean, that's a recipe for good baseball.
So you've got Nevada tonight. You've learned about them all season long, right? You're 3-4 this year against them. What's the message going into tonight?
Don't take them lightly. You know, we know that we're going to be able to play them hard, but we got to play smart tonight. These guys do hit well, and for us to be able to come out on top, we got to pitch it well and play good defense.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
First pitch tonight for the Outlaws game is at 7 p.m. right here at Joe Becker Stadium, and we'll have the highlights at 10.
All right, looking forward to it. Danny Terzer live in Joplin. Danny, thank you. The Kansas City Chiefs will begin training camp in a couple weeks in St. Joe. The voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, joins us in studio earlier today to talk about the season, including the contract situation between the Chiefs and offensive tackle Orlando Brown Jr. Probably the most pressing news of the day. The Chiefs unable to come to a long-term deal with Orlando Brown Jr. and they put the franchise tag on him. First off, what's your take on that, and how important is it for the Chiefs to to keep him in the building long-term?
Personally, I hope Orlando shows up at camp and goes to work. He's a really good left tackle, and the Chiefs need him at left tackle, but he also struggled at times last year. So it's a work in progress for Orlando Brown Jr. I'm just hoping he doesn't hold out of camp.
You can check out our full interview with Holthus Sunday night on KOAM News at 10. Moving on to Major League Baseball, Game 2 of the series between the shorthanded Kansas City Royals and the Toronto Blue Jays tonight. The Royals won Game 1 last night 3-1. Tonight's game just getting started with no score in the first. We'll have highlights from this one right here tonight at 10. Moving over to the National League, the St. Louis Cardinals open their final series before the All-Star break at home against the Reds tonight. Now, that one does not begin until 7:15. The Cardinals, by the way, enter the day 2.5 games back for the second wild card playoff spot in the National League. And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news right after this.
Take time now to honor a member of the U.S. Armed Forces, Thomas Ferris III, served in the U.S. Marine Corps since 2007. His hometown, Joplin. And we're proud to salute Sergeant Thomas Ferris III, a four-state hero. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Reaction to House Democrats passing a bill today which would enshrine federal abortion protections into law. Also, the Buffalo, New York supermarket where a deadly mass shooting occurred reopens. And how fruit juice dispensers inspired a new home dialysis machine. That and a lot more coming up tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. This is kind of a bittersweet day for us. Our good friend Nick Kelly is going to be moving on to pursue another opportunity. He'll be here through Sunday, but this is your last Friday with us. We wish you luck.
I know, it's like I felt like I've grown up with you guys. In fact, I have for at least almost the 11 years that I've been here. Just about. I never thought I'd get here starting in 2011, considering what took place in Joplin prior to, but everyone in the community welcomed me with open arms. It's just felt like another home away from home from day one that I got down here. A lot of great people I worked with, you guys, of course, Doug Hetty. We haven't said goodbye yet because one, he's in Mexico. He'll be back here at some point, but we're still going to keep in touch as well. As to where I'm going, I'm staying in the weather business, but I will be relocating to Springfield pretty soon.
Just down the road, so we'll be seeing you around. I'm sure at least those of us in the building will. The people at home will miss you. You've meant a lot to this community for, as you say, more than a decade with weather warnings and more. But we wish you well. Thank you. It's going to be a hot weekend.
Yeah, even with some rain chances around. Isolated for Saturday, maybe more scattered storms Sunday. But let's go 99 tomorrow, 96 Sunday, then pure summer heat, almost dangerous heat, certainly by Tuesday.
Quick sports note.
Don't forget to check out our full interview with Mitch Holthus Sunday night.
Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with another live look at Joe Becker Stadium. We'll see you at 10. Let's make it a great evening.
Salon service is perfect.